Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey, along with my wife Amanda.
Hello.
We explore everything paranormal, including Bigfoot, ghosts, hauntings, demons, UFO, ghosts. I said that already. And if it's paranormal nature, we investigate it. So, tonight we're going to be talking about cloaked Bigfoots. This is something that Amanda saw on Expedition Bigfoot. And she said, I'm kind of wondering if that one trap cam photo. Seriously? We're under ghostly attack tonight. Things are moving on their own. Things are beeping. Every time we try and start something on the computer, something goes haywire.
Just keep going.
Anyways, yeah, the light went out. Light bulb on the lamp that I used just went out of nowhere. It's just been weird. My computer keeps freaking out, not letting us do anything. We were trying to do a live earlier, and we kept having to try again and again and again and again.
Hear us.
Then they couldn't see us. The camera went off for some weird reason. So, anyways, again, I blame the haunted dolls.
He blames everything on those dolls.
Poor kids. Anyways, so we're gonna be talking about Bigfoot tonight. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen, and she and I are gonna kind of talk about things. If you don't know, Amanda is a skeptic, which is awesome. I love it because it keeps me level-headed. It keeps me from saying everything's a Bigfoot. She questions what I think is a Bigfoot, and I like it because then I have to go back through and reevaluate and make sure that I'm sure that it's a Bigfoot or it could have been a Bigfoot. So, we were talking about eye shine earlier, and we collected a lot of data from Joe's, and I call it data, not evidence. We collected a lot of data. We got eye shine, we got screams, we got tree knocks, we got personal experiences, we got whoops, we got trail cam pictures of something. So again, this is kind of open to interpretation. I know that everybody's not a believer, and if you are a believer, you should be skeptic still. Just because if you start believing everything's a Bigfoot, then everything's going to be a Bigfoot. So let's share the screen. Hopefully, I can go to what I want to go to. Here we go. So let me share this. This is actually from a place in Orange County called Blackstar Canyon. This was taken a long time ago. This is from 2014. This I had numerous pictures come up around 11:18 on the 13th of March and the 14th of March.
This is a trail cam, by the way.
This is the trail cam. This is a 5 megapixel trail cam. This thing refreshed about every minute, not 1 second, every minute. So essentially, it would take a picture about every minute. The new trail cams, they're 14 megapixels. They take a video for about 15 seconds. This had a video. I don't know what happened to it. Unfortunately, because the quality of the video is so low, my computer will not play it anymore. But essentially, in one of these videos, there's a couple of them. The Bigfoot comes out basically here into the middle of the creek here. This is a dry riverbed, and I figured out that they were using this as a highway. This is how they were getting around. They were cruising down, up and down here. That's interesting up there. I just now seen that too. There might be something standing up there. Unfortunately, with this camera, something I tell people, whenever you get a picture of something, I blew this up, but I didn't crop in. I'm not like zooming way in because you can see how pixelated this is becoming. So you can kind of see something behind the tree. But when you crop in, let's say you crop this picture and then you go to post it to Facebook, to YouTube, whatever. What happens is this little picture here now gets blown up even more and stretched and pulled. So these little boxes inside this picture there's more space in between, and that's what creates the blur. And so everybody complains about blurry pictures of Bigfoots. I always tell them, leave the picture as it is. Let people zoom in like I just did. See, I can scroll in, Yes, it's a little pixelated, but you can still kind of see there's something here, and it's not super duper blurry. Again, this is a 5 megapixel picture. This is from God, almost 10
10
years
years
ago.
ago. Yeah.
So you can see how much technology has changed this day and age. But anyways, this is what happened. Here's a quick story. I set a trail cam out in a place I probably shouldn't have done it. I left it for 2 days. I got nervous, went back, grabbed the trail cam, started going through the footage. There was I think 100 and some odd pictures, and about the same videos. It took me about 2 weeks to go through it all. So went through it, and I got through it, and I got to the end. This was the last day, or the right before, and I got to 11:18, and I'm like, "Whoa, what's that?" And I started looking in. I started looking in at the tree. I'm like, "There's something standing behind the tree." Now, what you can't tell is this tree is about 3 feet wide. It's a huge eucalyptus tree. I went to put my arms around this thing. I could not get my arms around. I couldn't even get the trail cam um, strap to go around, and I had a really long. It was about 4 feet long, so that tells you how wide this tree was, and it was
Can't really
like
tell
a
that in a
foot.
photo.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to. This is why I'm. Oops. This is why I'm trying to describe this. It was about four. The tree was about at least 3 feet wide radius, so it was just massive. But anyways, whatever's standing here, you can see on the other side. You can see the other part of it. So essentially, I looked at this. And I went, "Oh," and then I got nothing. It was just this, and I was like, "Oh," I was so disappointed. So if I'm gonna get this thing to go to the next picture, nope, it will not go to the next picture. Okay, hold on a sec. And we have all kinds of stuff popping up here. So I gotta go back into the photos. Oh, yay. Bear with me, guys. I gotta go back into the folder here. I have a lot of content in here. This is my hard drive here. It's in here. It's in. Where's Steve Boyd's Bigfoot evidence? Let's see, trap cams. All right. Let's see if this is it. Yep, I'm gonna have to pop all these pictures open. Okay, so the next day, you can see this is the next day, about the same time, 11:44 a.m. This is the day I picked this up. I didn't pick it up till later in the afternoon. I didn't notice anything. I started going through it. I'm like, and then I found this. I'm like, well, what is that? Looks like a giant, like grizzly bear, but you can actually see fingers right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, of course, you can see the other side of whatever this is. It's got its hand up here, looks like, too. Now, this is blurry as hell. And again, this is an old picture. You know, this looks like maybe a grizzly bear or something. This thing's massive.
But there's
whatever.
no bears in that area.
Yeah, there's no bears up here. This has really long hair. It's just got, you can't really see the face, unfortunately. The only reason I know this is Bigfoot is because it was standing, it moved over here and stood in the clearing. And as it stood there, you could see the hair on the chin blowing in the wind. It stood perfectly still. I think it was curious about the trail cam, came down here to look at it, kind of peeked out, walked out here to look a little closer, and went, oh, crap. Probably heard it because this is day. There probably wasn't any IR lights on. And so this is what we got. So, yeah, this is the first time I ever got anything possibly on camera. So I'll close this. So what? Okay, it decided to stop sharing our screen. Why not? Okay, so it's one of those nights where everything's going to go wrong. All right, so let's look at some more Bigfoot possible stuff. Okay, why is this popping up now? All right, so this is Joe's. He had a corn feeder. Here, you can see the green hue again. Again, we'll talk about this in the very last video. We'll show you. We've shown this video before, but we've never actually talked about it. But I got this video down, and I'm like, what is this? This is from the 16th of February from 2007, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He was complaining to me.
2017.
That's what I said.
You said 7.
Okay. 2017. Sorry. You guys can read this probably. So he was complaining of something coming by and eating all the corn off the ground from his corn feeder. He also said that something kept banging on it, trying to get more corn out, and ended up breaking it because it's an automated corn feeder. And so I left the trail cam up and I got this. And I didn't know what to make of this at first. Then we saw the episode on finding Bigfoot. I'm sorry, the expedition Bigfoot, where they got that shadow. Now, we've done a lot of research, not just me, but we have done a lot of research where we've seen shadow people, we've caught them on camera and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And I have a theory that anywhere there's Bigfoots, there's a haunting. It's haunted, And I've had, if you've watched my old videos of Black Star Canyon, unfortunately, that account was taken down by YouTube for some reason. They just wiped it out. 40,000 followers back, whatever it was, 14 years ago, and they wiped it out. So I don't know what happened. I was on there for 4 years. I followed the rules. I didn't do anything stupid. Didn't say anything controversial. But they closed my account out of nowhere one day. It's gone. Wiped it out. Can't find it. Don't know what happened to it. Can't get into it. Anyways, Black Star Canyon. I used to do a lot of research there. There was Bigfoot activity. There were shadow people. There was ghosts. There was possible UFOs and other cryptids up there and stuff like that. So my theory is I thought this was just a shadow person. Okay, so a shadow person came by in front of the camera and got caught. But middle of the day, that's a little strange for shadow people. Usually shadow people are seen inside, indoors, or at night. Usually kind of they're darker than the dark, and that's how you see them. You see like if an area is a little bit lit, they will go by that area and you go, oh, I saw a shadow go by. You know what I mean? That's the only way we can see them is usually by motion. You see some kind of motion. So, anyways, this is transparent. I mean, you can kind of see the trees through this. I'm not a big believer in the theory that Bigfoots are cloaked or go in and out of dimensions. But honestly, this has me scratching my head. I thought maybe that somebody was just way too close to the camera, but how can you see through them if they're too close to the camera? Looking at this, it kind of looks like it's diagonal. If you look at it, it's sideways. This is sideways profile, and you kind of see what looks like a coned head. You kind of see what looks like a little bit of a chin, maybe some fur down here. And just bear with me. I'm just going off and on out to left field here. What looks like a shoulder, So I don't know. I
Could it
mean,
be a shadow?
it could no, because there's another picture. So this is 221. This is 248. So it comes by twice. A shadow would have moved a lot more than this, and it would be across the whole thing.
Would a camera even pick up a shadow of a person though?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Because wouldn't we okay, let me think about this. Because when we had the trail cams up, we had multiple trail cams in camp. They're all over 6 feet tall. So we put them all up high. So if something large walked by, we would catch it. But when we caught a deer, it would be further out because it would catch it further out. But you wouldn't get any kind of shadow of the deer. I don't think it's a shadow.
My only thought was at first I was thinking, okay, maybe somebody or something like got so close to the camera that it blurred them or something.
But then it wouldn't be see-through. I'm trying to think of what would be see-through.
But the problem with that is if somebody walked right in front of the camera, there'd be a picture of them here and a picture of him here.
And if it was a bug, it wouldn't be see-through. It'd be solid.
So here you can see it again. And what's weird is this section of the camera is all blurry too. Look at that. This is clear. This is pretty much clear, but this section here is all blurry.
Well, I'm trying to think if ever we've caught anything else like that in any of our thousands of photos that we've taken.
Oh, yeah, hundreds of thousands. I
Yeah.
mean, these trail cams get 15, 20,000 pictures every time I go out. Most of it's, I mean, 99.9% of it's nothing. So it makes me wonder if it walked in front of here to block out something else. There is another couple of photos I want to show you guys where it's basically looks like it's looking at a deer. I'm just trying to see if there's any kind of deer or anything in here. I don't really crop in very often to look in because I don't want to do that. I don't want to make it look for other things. But this was right behind his trailer. I've talked about his trailer multiple times. They used to mess with his trailer and mess with him all the time. I'm just looking for maybe the possibility, maybe there's another Bigfoot or a baby Bigfoot or something else,
Well, I
a
can't
deer,
say
something
that
maybe they would be hunting for. I'm just curious to see what else might be in here. Are you seeing anything at all?
well, I can't say that it's a Bigfoot, but I can say it's an anomaly,
Mm-hmm.
that it's different, that it's not something I know what it could be right off the bat.
Right, because
But I don't see anything in there. I haven't before either.
yeah. So this happens at 2:21, and then oops, we went too far. And then at 2:48, 6:17. Yeah, it's the same day. So whatever it was came back about 20 minutes later. And now you can see this section. And this really looks like a coned head. This camera's up 8 feet high. So, I mean, it was up as high as I could reach. And then somebody was tying the thing behind it as I was holding it up on this tree. So
I just don't know what could cause that. I mean,
I'm just wondering if there's a deer over here that we're not seeing. Because, okay, so let's go to the next photo. All right, again, let me make sure this is the right succession. Oops. Nope, we're going too far. Yeah, okay. All right, so here's another silhouette. And if you can't see it, there's the deer. There's a deer right here. It's just standing here eating. And there's this silhouette. And I think what happened on this one was the camera was behind it. And I think it walked it, next to the camera enough to create, when that IR light went off, to create a shadow. Or maybe it's projecting the shadow out because you can see the shadow like this. There's nobody there. This is back up in the outer section of his, it's up in the left corner of his property. This is just up the way from where his corn feeder was. This area is extremely thick. I mean, it's hard to walk through here. Everything grabs you, vines and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know how they get through this area without getting all tangled up. They just basically just trudge through it like a tank. It's kind of scary, but you can see. So there's a deer right here. We know there's a deer here, and you see the shadow. And watch what happens with the shadow on the next one. You see it as the deer moved. It moved. So I don't know. Again, take all this with a huge grain of salt. This is just me going down the rabbit hole, her suffering through it, and then trying to figure out why it isn't what else it could be. Sorry, we got a cat coming into the picture. Oops, and there goes the glasses. Oh, you can come back there. Okay, go ahead. So yeah, it was something was definitely watching a deer, and it was basically it basically was following the deer. As the deer kind of walked off this way, it went around, possibly back there to grab it, or maybe it was trying to scare the deer back. I don't know, but it's just strange how whatever it was showed up as a silhouette and not actually like in a solid form. So those are two pictures that are interesting to me.
Well, maybe if someone else has set trail cams when they're deer hunting or just Bigfoot hunting, and they've gotten that before and can explain it, put it down in the comments.
Yeah, if you guys have any theories, we would love to hear about it. We would love to know what your thoughts are. What do you think is causing that? I know it wasn't a person because There's another. So there was a triangle. There's trap cams everywhere. There's a trap cam. Basically, the trap cam's watching the trap cam. We had them angled at different angles so that you couldn't walk through any which way without getting caught on camera. I know because when I wandered out, I got caught by every single one. I'm looking through the camera. Oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. And even at night when we came through this area, oh, it's like, oh, that's Christy. Oh, that's Matt. Oh, that's Amanda. That's whoever it was, and multiple times we were clear as day. You could tell it was us or
That's
Joe.
what makes it a little bit more confusing, is because you actually see a person really clear in these trap cams. So we know that it's not a person. You can see what a deer looks like. We know it's not a deer. We got clear pictures of deers, really clear pictures of deers, which, it's not up here to show. But why are these
Shadowy
things showing up in the camp and the trap cams, and what are they?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that think that Bigfoots can travel through portals and come out one portal and go out the other. I don't know if I believe that. Other people say they're cloaked. Um, I've had several military people tell me that are special ops that have been out in the forest. They tell me the same thing. Um, Once you know what's in the forest, you won't go back into the forest. And what they're using is they're actually using real full spectrum lights, military grade full spectrum lights, and they're picking up on things.
Yeah, but I can't say that that's a Bigfoot. I can say,
Oh,
again,
nobody can.
I don't know what that is.
It's just an anomaly. We just don't know what it is. And we're just talking about the theory, again, theory that could possibly be some kind of a Bigfoot like creature.
Well,
Do they cloak? And again, I'm on the fence. I don't know what her thoughts are.
my thought is, what if? I don't have a definitive like, oh yeah, that's for sure what they're doing. That's not where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is, what if that is a possibility? Like, what if their fur can be, when it is the summer and everything is green and there's no autumn leaves or anything, and they can turn green. Like, what if they can blend in? But at the same time, gorillas and that kind of thing, they can fade right into the forest or be right in front of you and you never see them, and they're black. So I don't know. But the next video that we have, or the next photo, I think it's a video / photo, we catch something that moves through the forest that looks like it's green.
Yeah. And so listening to Joe talk, and he had experiences almost daily with these Bigfoots. I mean, they would show themselves to him all the time. And he was friendly with some of them and not so friendly with others. Sometimes he had scary encounters, sometimes he had funny encounters. He did gift. He gave him gifts all the time. He would go out and put stuff out in the woods, and they throw acorns and dirt clods and other things at the back of his trailer. They go by and look in his windows and stuff. I mean, he got the scare of his life when a huge head peered down into his mobile window one night, and it scared the living bejesus out of him, to the point where he actually spray painted the outside of his windows black, and he still went through and covered all his windows because he didn't want to see them and stuff like that. So anyways, he had a lot of encounters. He told us that he basically saw a lot of them all the time, and they had different characteristics. He had seen a blonde one, a brown one, kind of a tannish colored one, a black one. I don't know what else other color. He had never seen a red one. I've seen a red one once, but anyways, so the one that we're going to show you next, he thinks was, and we reviewed this with him multiple times to try and get his analogy of what he thought it was. And he said, yes, I've seen that one. And so let's see, is this a video? Okay. So this is a video. This is going to go quick. Happens in the first couple of seconds. So I'll show you. I've circled right here because what you basically see, and I've presented this multiple times. Excuse me, but you see one arm up here like this, one arm down, and this thing's leaning out like kind of like this and
Like
looking towards us.
Yeah.
Now, there's about 3 or 4 clips before this where you see a deer down here. There's a deer, and then you basically see nothing. I think that there's a squirrel that goes up this tree or something like that. They're playing around in here, and then all of a sudden you just see this thing peek out. And Joe is the one who actually showed this to us. No, it's gone. Okay. Once it's done playing, I'll have to replay it from the beginning. I think this is a 15 to 20-second trap cam video. We set them long because we wanted to make sure that there wasn't just 3 to 5 seconds. We wanted to know what happened before, what happened during, and what happened after. So again, you're going to look right where that was circled. You'll see something almost looks like it has a clown face. It's weird looking, and it's kind of a green hue, and then it just ducks back. Now, there's a couple other videos. I can't remember where they are. I have to pull them out where you can see there's a blind back here. It had created a blind, and essentially what it did is it basically pulls back behind the blind. And what's funny is this tree here, you can see it like rocking, like literally rocking back and forth behind the tree after it ducks back. Anyways, let me play this for you. See that? Let me go back. So watch. It goes really quickly. I believe we were walking by when this happens. So it's quick. Let me go to the other footage so you guys can actually see it. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. What? Can't see. All right. So this is exactly what I tell everybody not to do. It's cropped and zoomed in, but I was able to do this so that you guys can see. You can see it looks like Krusty the Damn Clown. You see what looks like kind of like blocks, like almost looks like a Kiss concert. It's got these black things around its eyes. The forehead's kind of white. We noticed a couple of them that have like the furs like way back, like it has receding hair going like back, like my head, except it has its fur way back high, and it looks like it's never gotten a haircut. So the head is bald right here, and then the hair comes down, and you can see it basically looks like it has fur and everything down here. But it's essentially it's grabbing onto this tree. You can see the hand, and then it's basically has another hand down here. Let me see if I have the shorter video of it. So now I've circled it here. Let me do this so it's a little easier to see. This is actually a 12 megapixel trail cam, so you can see it. It's just basically here. This is where it starts. So now that you guys have seen that, let me go back to the original video. Is this the video? Why won't this let me move? Okay, let me try and see if I can get this to pause. Oops. So there it is. You can see it right here. And again, this is a zoomed in version of it. And then you'll see it duck back. It just disappears. So, like I said, it happens quickly. I've done another video on this. If you guys want to watch our YouTube channel, you can go back and look for this.
Yeah, no, I can't say that it's Bigfoot, but it is definitely another anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Bigfoot. I believe that it's possible that there's something out there that we have not proved in science. We're still finding animals in science and documenting new species. So I think that there could be something, but again, I haven't seen anything.
So we got to remember that the military and the government essentially don't want you to know that these things exist. Honestly, I think they think people would probably freak out. And I mean, there's a lot of theories on Bigfoots. You know, are they some kind of alien? I was listening to somebody's podcast the other day who was saying that maybe we're descendants of Bigfoots. Maybe the evolutionary chain has gone, maybe they're part of the evolutionary train. People kind of go back and forth. Are they some kind of gorilla? Are they some kind of humanoid? Um, are they
Or
something
maybe there's
else?
something combined.
Yeah, or something else combined. There's different species of Bigfoots, in my opinion. This one's blonde. The blonde ones are, in my opinion, they're tall and lanky, which is exactly what this one is. This one's about 14 feet tall, in my opinion, from what we could judge. This Joe and I went out there with a tape measure and we looked to see where it was. Where it's ducking down is about 7, 8 feet high. The top of the head at this point where it's stuck down is about 7 or 8 feet high. So when it stands up, and it's almost kneeling. When it stands up, it's almost double that height. So, and then there's the black ones. The black ones are a little bit more shorty. No, sorry, the brown ones. The brown ones are a little bit more shorter and stocky. They're almost as wide as they are tall. They only get to be between 8 and 10 feet tall. My opinion, I think that the brown ones are the ones that everybody sees all the time. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, so I think the brown ones are the ones that everybody sees all the time, for the road crossings and stuff like that. The black ones are severely large. They are tall. They are extremely bulky, as well. They just are huge. The red ones look to me more like an orangutan. If I had to classify these things, I would say the black ones are more like gorillas. The brown ones are a little bit more like a cross between a gorilla and orangutan. The red ones are definitely more like an orangutan. And then the black ones, I think the tan ones are more like a monkey. They're skinny and taller, but they have different traits. The more I research Bigfoot, the more I have to research primates too, because I need to know the behaviors. I mean, we went to a zoo in Waco, and this orangutan was walking around on all fours and basically sat up, and I went, "Oh my gosh!" And I've said this before on this podcast. I've seen that before, and I told her that. She starts laughing at me, but it's like, and I don't expect her to believe. I don't expect anyone to believe in this stuff until they've had an encounter where they can say it can't be anything else but. And you can put anything in there, Bigfoot, UFO, ghost, whatever,
The
so
other thing that is in the favor towards Bigfoot is that we do hear from a lot of people, and the story is very similar. Matt doesn't know this story, but I heard from someone that we met recently who was a truck driver. We were at the trailer park, and we met a couple people at the trailer park because we have our own trailer, and we were doing service to the trailer. And he was telling me that he was driving down the freeway in the truck, in the semi, in the middle of the night, and he sees a Bigfoot. He swears it was a Bigfoot. It was brown in color. It was like 7, 8 foot tall. And it took the highway in 3 huge steps, and then walked right over the culvert in one step. And so the stories are always the same. Like they're very similar. And he said that was about 10 years ago.
yeah. Well, I think I had my very first road sighting coming back from dropping a crew off in Longview. I'm a driver. I'm a professional driver. That's what I do for a living. If you don't know where Longview is, it's up in East Texas, real close to Louisiana border. Up basically between Dallas and Louisiana. Driving back down, it's all forest. It's all forest up there. I think I drive through the Daniel Boone National Forest, but other than that, it's just all forest most of the way home. and I'm always on the lookout because there's deer, raccoons, possums, you name it's in the road, crap in the road.
And he sees them all too, which is
Yeah, I
crazy to
have to
me.
watch while being a truck driver myself. I've learned, they teach you, you have to look for everything. Doesn't matter if you're backing, going forward, whatever, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. And so I'm very aware of what goes on around me. And so I saw something run across the road. And at that point, that was going down that highway. I think it was, I can't remember which highway it was. But I think I pinned it. I pulled over and pinned it in my phone, but on Google Maps. But it was a 4-lane highway at that point because there's basically places where you can pass. Normally it's 2 lanes, but I was looking for deer because I'd just seen a crap ton of them up the road, and something I can't say is a Bigfoot. It's something dark, like almost 3 or 4 step the road. It was insane, and it moved so fast. I was like, oh, whoa.
That's what he said too. He said
I'm
the
like,
same thing.
what the heck was that? I've seen Bigfoots run, but that, I mean, that just, I don't know what I saw at this point. It was bipedal running across the road. There was no homes out there, nothing around for miles. And I'm scratching my head. I'm going, why would some idiot go running across the road in the middle of the night?
In
This
front of
is
a semi?
in front of me. What happened? It was about 100 feet ahead of me. I had my brights on. That's the only reason I saw it. And it was like, whoop. I'm like, what the hell? So I did pull over. I looked. I didn't see any footprints. I didn't see anything. I had to go back and look. And I'm like, oh, okay. I told my boss, I'm like, go back and look at the footage at this time and see if you see anything on that camera. He didn't see it, unfortunately. And he's a professional. He used to be a sheriff. So, getting his view on it would have been really good. I would love to have him on the podcast if he had actually seen it to testify about it. But yeah, I mean, so I'm hoping again sometime soon to maybe have that encounter when I go up there again. That whole area is all Bigfoot territory. I drive right through the middle of Bigfoot territory. So, who knows? But, anyways, we will be going out into the probably back to the Sam Houston National Forest here soon. We've got some more documentation we want to do out there. We have several locations that we want to document. So we'll be adding that to our show. Like I said, I'll be editing. I don't know if I said that on this one, but on the live earlier, we're going to be doing a bunch of lives here soon, guys. We've tried to go live in almost every location we've gone to. It's something happens. We were at the old jail. We couldn't get the live to go on there. There was no Wi-Fi, so our phones wouldn't do much. We had to go out to the courtyard just to be able to do some lives for you guys over the weekend. And her live worked way better than mine. For some reason, YouTube doesn't like my lives. So I got to put an external mic on my phone so you guys can hear me a little bit better. But yeah, we'll be trying to do lives from out in the forest from here on out and giving you guys kind of a look around where we're at. We won't give you the exact locations because we're still actively researching these locations. Yep. But we plan on hitting the Daniel Boone National Forest, which we haven't touched yet because we haven't gotten very many reports from up there, but there are reports. The Sam Houston National Forest has a lot of reports. There's a lot of other forests around.
Oh, that scared me.
That also have a lot of reports. Anyways, guys, that's my work. I got to go. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.